It's Bina, and in today's video, I want to present to you the build that I have been playing for the Vision tournament, the Vision tourney, which was on ForgeGuard. So this build is a Shield Rush build, right? You've heard it right, Shield Rush. We are doing crit, so we are doing this type of thing. It's very fun. It's not that fast because we are ForgeGuard and we don't have access to haste. Let's go ahead and see. I did the hardcore tourney, and I just finished pushing 510 waves in the arena. I did die beforehand, though, so I misjudged my amount of tankiness, and let's go take a look at it. So I was on a Shade of Orbis, just blasting at 578 corruption, and I thought I was good to like tank the meteors. I guess I wasn't. I did not have 100% block chance, which was my mistake. So lesson learned. I do want to get 100% block chance now on it. So what is this build all about? So this build is about using Shield Rush as your main damaging ability. And so you're going to use Shield Rush to deal damage in a pretty big AoE because you have access to World Splitter. We're going to go ahead and see what this looks like in actual mapping gameplay. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. I'd say this is like A tier damage. It's like, it's pretty close to like on an endgame planner, you'd probably get something like, you know, between 10 and 15 million DPS, and then maybe with like a little bit more gear, you can get like 20 to 25 million DPS, probably with more gear, like double tier 7 and stuff like that, right? So not bad. Can this build go all the way and do Uber Abroth? I think it can. It will require quite a bit of investment though. And would I recommend going for Uber Abroth on this build? Maybe not. But overall, pretty fun build. So as you can see, all that you do is I am right-clicking Shield Rush as much as possible, right? Here I am using also Shield Bash, which is procced from my Shield Rush, and Ring of Shields that is automatically cast whenever, because I'm pressing it, right? It's instant cast, so it's it doesn't require your character to do any action. You don't lose any DPS by pressing it, so it's pretty good. This is like 578 corruption, a decent AoE. It's kind of like the like a smaller and less damaging Erasing Strike. It's like, is there a real reason to play this? I mean, for fun, right? But, yeah. Pretty good. There is a bug with this, though, so that if you have too much attack speed... so right now my attack speed is at 0.8%. 0.8 attacks per second. Because the ForgeGuard gives me 10% less attack and cast speed when you are using a two-handed and a shield. So there's a bug that makes it that if you have too much attack speed... it will not always refund your mana with the node here. Mana restored when the Shield Rush ends. So, I mean, you can mess around with it a little bit, but ideally you want to get, I'm not sure what's the exact number of melee attack speed that you want, but you definitely don't want to get too high. You can notice that if you grab a attack speed shrine, for example, or the shrine that boosts everything, this will go up. And your mana will get very, very low, and you won't be able to use Shield Rush anymore because you have too much attack speed, and the game doesn't really register the mana refund before you Shield Rush again. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So for this, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and go back into the Divine Era. So now that we've seen the mapping, we've seen a little bit of the bossing. Actually, can I show one boss here? It's actually pretty funny because there is, yes. Because this is a melee attack, you have quite a bit of stun, right? We need to do this. You have quite a bit of stun, and even here at 578 corruption, let's go do this boss. As you can see, we are stunning him quite a bit. So this is the bossing on this build. Keep in mind my character, it was only on the 1 week tourney. I did not like min-max this character that much, and starting from absolute scratch. So yeah. My gear could be much better. I don't even have nowhere near endgame planner yet. So this is pretty much like what you do. You do have to click quite a bit. And yeah, this is the build, guys. Pretty fun build. What do we got? We got this. Boom. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what this build is all about and go into details a little bit more. So the gearing for this build, I went with World Splitter. World Splitter with this one has 37 crit multi. This is the first one I put in the egg. It gave me crit multi. Ideally, you would want to have like physical flat damage here. But World Splitter gives you a couple of things. So you are scaling the mana cost of Shield Rush. So my Shield Rush mana cost right now is 64.3. Horns of Eukeros boosts its mana cost by 50%. There are also some nodes inside of Shield Rush itself that boost the mana cost. You can get this one. You can get these if you want to as well. But this is really working well with World Splitter. You also get the Crushing Blows in Forge Guard Tree for more damage per 1 mana cost for your melee attacks, right? So that's going to be a pretty decent more multiplier for Shield Rush. So this is scaling very well with World Splitter, which gets the increased area per mana cost and the increased critical strike chance per mana cost as well. So we are not actually scaling our maximum mana for the melee crit strike multi, but we are scaling the mana cost, which will make it very easy to cap our critical strike chance and also capping, not capping, but getting a fairly decently big AoE. So that is why we are using World Splitter here. Also very easy to obtain. There are some other weapon options, but this is what I ended up going for. Horns of Eukeros. It's a shield that increases your mana cost, but because we get the mana refund, we really don't care about having a very high mana cost, and it's also beneficial to us. So that's a very good point into using Horns of Eukeros. This one is a very, very high LPL. You would want to get block chance on this one to get closer to 100% block. I decided to go with Null Portent as my body armor. There are other options like Mantle of the Pale Ox or also Titan Heart, since we are using a two-hander. But Null Portent has that very interesting line of text that has melee leech and overkill damage leeches health. So that is going to help us get a very, very tanky because we're going to need a lot of leech. Shield Rush itself, when you use it with this node, it has no cooldown, but it costs 15% of your health. And I decided to go with over leech for this particular build. I am like more and more a fan of over leech whenever possible. It just makes you insanely tanky, especially against dots. So this is basically all that you need for dot mitigation. You can go even crazier with this with another prefix or a sealed affix on here with melee leech, or you could even go with tier 7 prefix on the two-handed weapon is 40% melee leech. Obviously you would lose a lot of damage from that because another tier 7 affix here would amount to maybe I think it was like something like 1/3 of your damage, like 33% more damage. But if you just want to be like giga tank against dots, you could get 40% melee leech on this, and it would make you pretty much invincible against any dots. And the only thing that would kill you would be like one-shots. So that is another option. But yeah, that's the reason why I went Null Portent, to get more melee leech, over kill damage leeches health as well. And it's not too hard to get our resistances up enough to get some decent amount of DR from Null Portent. Now with Leonine, for our helm, the Leonine helm gives us a big amount of reduced bonus damage taken from crits. Alongside this passive here in the Forge Guard, you get 100% very easily. So Leonine helm is very good, and you can get some good stuff on here, especially increased armor shred effect sealed at tier 1, which gives you like 1.5 times the effect of your armor shred, which is really good to cap out, well, not cap out, but like soft cap out of the armor shred damage that you can get out of this. Strength is one of the prefixes you want, but you would want to get something else. Like the second prefix is kind of open, like vitality, or maybe another plus level of skill that gives you melee damage would also be a good option here. But you just want to try to get as tanky as possible, so I went with increased health. So here I have an Omnis, but ideally you would want a Nihilist, like a really well-rolled Nihilist, because you want to get all of the plus level to skills in Shield Rush. So Shield Rush has like some more skills that you could invest into. Like I still have 1 point to put in here. I have points if I want more damage to put in here as well to get the mana cost up. You could also go for less damage taken while shield rushing. So that does consume 3 points because you need 1 more here and 2 more here. And this one gives you less, well, a lower mana cost because it gives you more mana efficiency. So I decided to go for just damage here. I was really blasting 500 corruption like really easily on this build and really fast. So yeah, Nihilist would be excellent here. Obviously, we're a melee build, so Shatter's Chain and Siphon of Anguish are a very good combo here. Just more damage, applying Doom, stuff like that. This one also gives you quite a bit of leech, so that's pretty important. We went for Solarone Steps to get the big melee critical strike multiplier. That one is just like insane for damage, although it has the downside of getting minus 75% physical res, so that is something to consider. You really only need 1 Siphon of Anguish. Like, this was a very, very early character, so I would use something else here. Like, endgame, you could use a Red Ring. You could use also a Heirloom at the Last Nomad. It's something like that with, like, good stats. Then Outcast Glove, the current health lost per second. Let's explain what Overleech is in Last Epoch. So, Overleech is, if you have an effect that is consuming a portion of your current health, and you will never reach maximum health while leeching, right? So, as you can see here, my health, I'm leeching, and I'm at 2552 out of 2557 because I am losing a portion of my current health per second. So that makes it so that your leech stacks, right? So health leech is granted evenly over 3 seconds, and there is no limit. Okay, I can remove my camera here for a second. Can I remove this? Right? There is no limit to how much you can leech at once. So you have an infinite amount of leech instances that are leeching health for you. And because you never reach maximum health, they never disappear. Because they only disappear if you reach maximum health. And then because you have a certain amount of health lost per second, then you never reach maximum. So yeah, it makes it so that so long as you're hitting something, you will always have your leech ramped up to the maximum. So it makes you extremely tanky against dots. Well, not only against dots, but mainly against dots, because that's like it's kind of like if this would read less damage taken from dots because you just recover more, right? So what you want to get is like the lowest tier possible of current health loss per second on some gloves. Ideally, obviously, you would want to have some Eternal Gauntlets, and you would want to have like Hybrid Health, Strength, Missing Health Loss per second. You can also get Melee Leech on the gloves if you do want to do that, right? My Relic, I don't really want Anchor of Oblivion, but that was an easy way to fix my Endurance. Ideally, I would want to get possibly there is a Relic base that gives you 5% block chance, and before you get access to Shattered Worlds, which is a drop from Uber Aberoth, then the 5% block chance one would be pretty good to get. I think I can show this in here. So this is the one. It's like Solarum, Mighty Solarum Banner. So that one gives you up to 5% block chance and health gain on block. So that is going to be the one that enables you to get 100% block chance without relying on Shield Bash, or without relying on Ring of Shields either, right? There is this note at the top of the Forge Guard tree, which I do not take because I don't think it's very reliable. But yeah, ultimately, you can get 100% block chance all the time, but I do not have it currently. So that kind of covers this gearing portion. For my idols, I want to go with like chance to shred armor on melee hit on these idols, and you can also get increased stun chance. Stun is a very good defensive stat for this build as well. You can also get, if you don't have that much shred, right? You can use this shred here in Hammer and Anvil. Minion armor shred chance 100% for 5 points. Because if not, you will need 2 of these idols, right? And then you use the rest of your idols to fix your resistances. And you can also get some physical penetration, or even some stun chance as well, right? Stun duration and increased stun chance on these idols are very good. The rest basically was just to get my resistances up a little bit here. So these are the items I would go for. As for blessings, you get crit multi, you can get stun chance here, or lightning res if you want to cap your lightning res for the null portent. All res, block chance and block effect, and then flat armor. This flat armor, technically you could go for endurance early on, but like getting very high armor is also very good. So if you don't have yet, you know, a Siphon of Anguish or your Heirloom or something with like endurance, you can also get endurance on the helm. If you don't have your endurance capped, maybe it's actually better for you to be using the endurance blessing on this blessing instead of the armor one, the flat armor one. But anyways, so that pretty much covers it for the gearing portion of this build. There are other choices that you can do. You know, you could use the shield, the Majasa shield. You could use like different options, but this is what I decided to go for. As for my, let's go into the skills now, actually. So first of all, Shield Rush. Shield Rush, you basically spec for damage. You could also go for the less damage taken while Shield Rushing, but that's not what I decided to go for because I wanted to get more damage to stun monster more, to have a better time mapping as well. And then, yeah, like most of the time, monsters are just completely stunned, so they don't do anything. So you know, you don't really need that much. So go for the more damage, you go for the base void damage. So one thing to note is that even though you get the base void damage from this one, it adds the void tag, the scaling tag to Shield Rush. And then most skills in the game, when they have more than one tag, see that this one has the physical and melee, they would split the adaptive damage that you get from your items or from anywhere else into those two types. So for example, this plus 130 implicit melee damage would technically be split between physical and void, but Shield Rush doesn't work in that way. So this only adds 5 base void damage, gives a tag, but any added adaptive damage is still going to be physical. So yeah, so that's why we decided to go mostly physical. Also physical also gets more damage effectiveness. Well, not damage effectiveness, but like more a bigger multiplier from armor shred on the targets, because physical, like armor, is more effective versus for physical than for non-phys. So that makes the same thing for armor shred, right? Anyways, that was like my little parenthesis. So Shield Rush gets both tags, but scales with physical, with the added melee damage that you give it. Then we spec into these points to go to the mana restored. So that's what's going to enable us to spam it while not spending any mana, alongside this no cooldown node and costing health instead. Then we just go for multipliers, final impact damage, and then you just go for the final impact echo hit damage as well. So those are the points that you want to go for. Another very important one here is going to be my movement ability, which is Healing Hands. So what does Healing Hand do? You do get the Healing Hand hit at the same time as your Shield Rush, because it's a melee attack as well, and you proc it on melee attack. So that's going to apply even more shreds for you. Very cool thing, the cooldown recovered on ally healed, right? So we're using it to be our movement skill, and then we're immune while moving, and the cooldown is recovered on ally healed. So when we're going to have our shield around us like this, our ring of shields, so those are 5 minions. As they take damage, you will use Shield Rush, not Shield Rush, but Healing Hands to move around the map. And if they have some health to be recovered, that's also going to recover a good portion of your Healing Hands cooldown. So you'll be able to spam this a little bit more, right? So that's a very cool node to use here. Then we're just going to go for the converting this to a melee attack scaling thing, giving it more area and reducing the mana cost as much as possible. The last point is like basically anything. It doesn't really matter. So that is pretty much covering it for Healing Hands. But another thing I want to talk about Healing Hands, that you can do some shenanigans with this, is that if I Shield Rush and then I Q Healing Hands before going back to my starting location, I can actually... Okay, this didn't work. But I can actually Healing Hands all the way over there, even though my Shield Rush brings me back, right? If I do this, boom. So my Healing Hands brought me from the start of the map up to here, because when I use Shield Rush and then I press Healing Hands, it brings me where my cursor was at that time. So that's a cool little interaction. You can do the same thing with Smite as well. With Smite Teleport, would do the same thing. But yeah, that's little interaction with healing hands, you can basically get very, very long distances traversed this way, because when you are using Shield Rush, your healing hands cooldown keeps also going down, right? So you can plan this to your advantage. Symbols of Hope. We are using this to get some crit, so I only needed 2 points in here to cap my critical strike chance. So depending on your current setup in your passive and your gear and whatnot, you might need more or less points in Heavenly Justice to cap your critical strike chance. We're mainly grabbing as much maximum symbols as possible, so maximum symbol here. The second maximum symbol is only usable if you have your capped crit, right? So make sure that you have that, unless you don't mind sacrificing some damage to get an extra symbol and to get extra block chance. So I mainly grabbed this because I really wanted to get an extra block chance here to be able to cap my block chance to 100%. Endurance Threshold, this would be your, like, any extra points we'll put in here, basically. And then you get the maximum symbol, you get a cooldown, and then you go here to get the block, right? So pretty standard Symbols of Hope tree, except for this thing here that you, you know, if you have enough crit, just invest into the extra maximum symbol. So the two other skills here are really, really versatile. Like, you don't have to use any of them. You could be using Devouring Orb, for example, going for this node, like getting the Void Essences here, which gives you more melee damage as well. There's not much else that you really want in Devouring Orb, right? You want to get like the Void Essences, 100% uptime with 3 points in Orb Master. You want to put points here, here, and here, and then you would like maybe put the rest in here, or maybe put the rest in here. Like, it just doesn't give you that much. You know, there's a couple of skills that you could use. I mean, you could use Forge Strike to get global more damage. You could use Vengeance to get global more damage. You could use, you know, maybe you spec Rebuke if for some reason. Maybe you spec Void Cleave with Abyssal Echoes. Maybe I don't know. Like, that's what I decided to go for. So the reason why I went with this is that I wanted to get some more block chance early on, since I did not have 100% block chance. That made me realize also that Shield Bash is currently bugged, and that this node here for 15% block chance actually gives you 150% block chance instead. So as, huh? Wait a minute here. Is this unbugged? What? Or does it give it to you per shield? Wait a minute. Is it only when you have the Ring of Shields around you? Well, I don't know what's up with this thing here, but earlier on it gave me 150% block chance, which maybe I need to test some more with this. Anyways, this gives you 15% block chance, some block effectiveness, Shield Bash after using Shield Rush or Lunge. So it's automated with your Shield Rushes, right? So you don't ever have to think about it, and you just hold the Ring of Shields. So Ring of Shields gives you some block chance. This gives you some block chance. This also stuns all the time. A little bit of Shred. The rest is not very important. And then Ring of Shields, basically you go for the block chance as well. You can also go for the block effectiveness on heal, and you get this because you get this thing here, heal amount on shield death. So you would get some block effect. And then you go for 3 points in Enduring Defense to get maximum duration, so you get 100% uptime on your shields. So that is what I decided to go for Ring of Shields and Shield Bash. So then we can go into the passive points. For the Sentinel tree, I decided to go with the resistances, and then you get all of the nodes in here for the block, right? So you get one here for 3% block chance, 10% less damage taken from nearby enemies. These are basically anything. I grabbed them because they also have melee stun chance as well as flat physical, but these could go in here very well, and that would be just fine. Yeah, keep in mind, we're not grabbing any of the attack speed stuff in any of these trees because, as I said, we want to get a low melee attack speed. If you have too high of a melee attack speed, let's say that I remove this, right? Let's say that I remove this node here. Then, will this actually... Okay, it does work. Let me just show it to you guys, what it does when it actually messes up. If I grab like a 1.2 attack speed thing here, right? And then I try using... Oh, you see. Oh, now I have 1.02. So I'm losing all of my mana because Shield Rush is I mean, not just online mode. In offline mode too, it kind of messes up a little bit. But like if you have too high of an attack speed, seems like the game doesn't register you going like getting your mana back. So yeah, using a low attack speed weapon is actually good, because now you can just spam as fast as you want and you never lose your mana, right? So that is one little thing to note. Anyways, so that's why I'm not grabbing any of the attack speed stuff. In the Void Knight tree, here there's other things that you can do. You can go for, I went for 9 points in here. I was still putting points in there, but like, you can go for the Leech here if you want to. I prefer not to go for the 5 points if I do decide to go here for the Leech rate, because I want to get with Overleech like a longer portion of time where I have Overleech. So that's why. And then you would go for 5 points in here and get the crit multi-point per point spent in the Void Knight tree, which this would make you able to possibly not use any of these, right? So give you more points in here for maybe Endurance Threshold per symbol. But yeah, so that's what I decided to go for. In the Paladin tree, you want to get only up to Symbols of Hope. So here it's pretty up to you to decide where you want to go for. I definitely want to go for 3 points in Block Chance. Then the Endurance Threshold per 2% uncapped LA Res. That's also very good. And then these extra points here for damage. But you could decide to go for something like Endurance if you need more Endurance or something like this, right? Or even like Blind or something. Or I mean, I don't really like Blind as a main way of mitigating crit, especially since we have the Leonine Helm and this node in the Forge Guard tree. But that is up to you to decide. And then in the Forge Guard tree, if only we had a better passive bonus. So currently the Forge Guard passive bonus here is, let's see. The Forge Guard passive bonus is 35 Fizz and Fire Res, and you gain a stack of Stalwart, which grants you 5% increased armor lasting 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So this basically does nothing for you. I guess the physical and fire is okay. I mean, it maybe makes it a little bit easier, the physical, to like get out of this minus 75% physical res. But for the most part, the passive bonus of Forge Guard is very bad, and it should be reworked, in my opinion, to something much better. But that's what we have. That's what we're working with. Steel Aegis, we go for the Block Chance here. These early points here are very open. So I decided to go with points in here for the Strength. I don't care about the Bleed Chance with an axe. Really don't care about it. But you can go with any amount of points in here in the flat physical damage. And I went in health and stun chance here. Stun chance I really like. So that's why I decided to go here. Then you get the crit chance with a two-handed, and then you get a crit multi per 2 strength, right? So that's going to be a pretty good node. That's why you also want to stack some strength as well alongside this node, which gives you physical pen per strength. So strength is giving us physical pen, it's giving us crit multi, it's giving us armor, it's giving us increased damage for shield rush. So it's a pretty good stat to get. Then we get crushing blows, which gives us more damage per mana cost for shield rush. So it's very good. That's why we want to increase the mana cost as much as possible. Armor shred chance, as we've seen, this enables us to like open up the slots for idols a little bit. Then you go for strength and increased health, all the points here. 4 points here just to get to the melee crit multiplier node with the physical pen per 5 strength. Then you go into the less damage taken and double when you have 50% block chance as well. So we will have 100% block chance, so that's going to be very good. This node here gives you a couple of things. It's free frailty because we're going to be using a shield, so you don't have to put frailty on your idols or on your gear. Two strength per point, very good, and reduce bonus damage taken from crits with a shield. And because we're using a two-hander and a shield with this node, that's going to make it very good. Keep in mind, this node here gives you haste will give you block chance instead of giving you movement speed. So this can be a blessing and a curse both at the same time, because you know, if you have Shattered Worlds, then this means that you will get perma haste and perma 10% block chance, then which makes it very good, but it also makes you slow. It does feel quite a bit. I do feel slow with 76% movement speed. I usually like to be about at the 150% movement speed to feel good. That's about, you know, 120, 150 is about the feel good place for movement speed. And since movement speed is the best stat in the entire game, in my opinion, I do feel a little bit, you know, screwed with this node. I feel like this node could have less downside and it would be good. It's like less attack and cast speed, less damage for you and your minions. I think that specific line of text, 20% less damage, could go away completely and would be perfectly fine. But that's what we decided to go for. So this is my Shield Rush character, crit Shield Rush, very fun. I might actually rebuild this into the my regular seasonal account and do like try to go for Uber in hardcore with this. A very fun build. Like I don't know, man. It's let's do one more map just to like end this video in a good way. It's gonna be, yeah, I just want to show like the fun part of it with healing hands as well. So I don't know if this is a good map. Jagged Outskirts. Is this a good map? Can I showcase this? Actually not a very good map for this, but look at this. Boom, boom. I don't know, man. It's just like it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to play. Can I go? Okay. Boom. And then you go here. So, yeah. This is the Shield Rush crit build. Very good. There are other versions of this. You can go, you can build Shield Rush in so many ways, actually. You can build Shield Rush and like, yeah, this is like the flying Shield Rush build. You can build Shield Rush with like Time Rot on Void Knight with Rot Grip, but there are better options for Time Rot. But if you want to play Shield Rush, this is something that you can do. You can play Bleed, you can play Ignite. You know, like the sky is the limit with Shield Rush. It has really good multipliers, and yeah, strongly recommend. Strongly recommend. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope you guys have a I hope you guys learned something in this video. Whether it is the bugs that are with Shield Bash, or the stuff that you can queue after Shield Rush, or even the Overleech tech. I feel like the Overleech tech is something that we don't talk enough about, and it's been in the game for like so long. There's like a few there's a few things that can give you it. It's like you can get this from anything that does the low life, you know, the low life effect, like Exsanguinous, like the shield, like the boots, this experimental affix on the gloves. You can also get it from stuff like Blood Mage, right? Can I can't actually show this, but like Blood Mage, for example, or Immortal Vise, right? Like Immortal Vise, 30% of hit damage taken from bosses and rares is dealt over 4 seconds instead. So over those 4 seconds, you would have Overleech for that portion of time. It's not very it's not very reliable, but it's still there. Same goes for Blood Mage, right? Grass of the Blood Mage has kind of like the same effect. And then there's also Ravaging Aura, which can give you the same thing in Void Cleave, right? You get Ravaging Aura, and that makes it that you lose 5% of your current health per second when you have it. So a couple of things that can give it to you. Yeah, hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys all in the next